Welcome back to TalkNorth.com. Thank you for listening. If you can, please download before you listen. It helps our business. I'd also like to thank our producer, Brandon Morton, and let you know if you'd like to sponsor this program or any of the programs on the network, you can reach me at jsouhan47@gmail.com.
Starsky. Oh, we're partners.
You're listening to Steven Strom on TalkNorth.com.
And we welcome you into another edition here of the Strom Sports Show, episode 43. I know I don't really name the numbers, but it's been 43 episodes. Big thanks to my followers. Big thanks to my listeners, as always. Producer Brandon Morton, Jim Souhan. Jim Souhan actually at the Masters right now. We're going to get into that in just a little bit here. But yes, this is the Strom Sports Show. I hope everyone's having a great Sunday. We obviously have the Masters to talk about. We've got the NBA playoffs, which started yesterday. And then I want to get into Ryan Saunders, as it was announced that he will be returning and coaching the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'll give you my thoughts on that. Noah Eagle, the son of Ian Eagle, is going to join me to talk about the NBA playoffs. He loves it. He's into it. Obviously, his father is the play-by-play guy for the Brooklyn Nets, so he's going to give us a lot of good insight on that. But before we get into all that, I want to get into the Masters. Obviously, a tradition like no other. I mean, the theme song, Tiger Woods, the Phil Mickelson, Roar, I mean, all that good stuff. It's really been a great tournament thus far, and the only thing you can really ask for going into Sunday is Tiger going to be in it? Because obviously the sport thrives off Tiger Woods, and I'm actually reading his book right now. I should have had it in front of me. I'll give you the name of it in just a bit, but I am reading this Tiger Woods book, just talking about his whole life and how he was just this prodigy at age 1 year old, and his father Earl Woods, and how he's really you can look at it both ways. You can look at Earl and say, okay, he's a delinquent dad, right? Like he's contacting ABC News and Fox, and he's putting all this pressure on Tiger. So you can look at it that way and saying, oh, Tiger never found himself. But then you can look at it at a sports, standpoint and say, well, you know what? He knew how good Tiger would be, so he was maximizing his potential. Whatever way you want to take it, that's fine. But this book is just incredible how he starts off. He's hitting the ball at 1 year old. He's playing 9 holes when he's 4 years old. He's winning amateur, tournaments at 7 years old in like a an age 10 group. And obviously he goes to Stanford and he has this relationship with Bill Walsh. It's an awesome book. And I read it before I was going to watch the Masters this year for this reason, right? And it, there's a lot of people, I think, that you either love Tiger Woods at this point or you don't like him. And I think for the most part, the golf world likes him because of his popularity, because of what he brings to the sport. But there's a lot of people that after that incident that he had with his wife and his kids and the car crash that, people turn their back on Woods. And I get that, it's not with Tiger Woods. If he's able to just weather the storm, and he's got 14 majors right now, Jack Nicklaus at 18, can he catch him, right? And it wasn't even a doubt 10 years ago. It wasn't even a question. He's going to blow him out. And now we sit here, he's still at 14, and he is second right now per Saturday. As I say, I record this on a Saturday. I get it out to Brandon on Saturday night, and he posts on a Sunday. So right now he is second, right? -6, and you have your leaders, Molinari -7, who just killed it yesterday. He was unbelievable. Jason Day, Brooks Koepka, right? And this is a guy that I think a lot of people overlooked because he lost a bunch of this weight, right? I was reading something because I like to bet on these types of events, and I was reading, who's hot, who's not, all that kind of stuff. And Brooks Koepka lost like 30 pounds to go and model for some magazine, and he wasn't playing well. And the first question they asked him a couple weeks ago was like, Brooks, what's going on? You're not playing the same. Is it because of your weight loss? Is it because you tried to diet and make yourself really look good for this magazine? He said 100%, and he said he regretted it. So at that point, when I saw that, I said, oh, man, I'm going to keep away. But he's played some great golf through 2 days, -7. Adam Scott also tied. Tony Finau, Dustin Johnson, my guy. I bet on Dustin Johnson 10-1. He's -6 right now. Woods. Listen, Fowler -5. He's worked his way up to the things that happen. Number one, and it's not even close. It's such a significant drop off from one to everything else. Is just have Tiger Woods alive. Just have him a few strokes back, right? And it hasn't been like that for years. He doesn't even make it to Sunday. And now he has an opportunity. And I guarantee you, ESPN, Golf, the NBC Sports Network, CBS, they're praying, please, Tiger. Because when Tiger does well, the ratings go through the roof. And I like watching listen, regardless of if Tiger's in it, I'm going to watch because I'm interested in it. I like the new coming golfers. Rory, Jordan Spieth, who just, I don't know what's going on with Spieth. I mean, Spieth, usually the Masters wakes him up, and usually he plays really well. I mean, he every year in the Masters, the last couple times, he's been great. He has just been playing horrible golf this year, thus far, and it's kind of carried over into the Masters. Look, this is one of these tournaments where, for me, Dustin Johnson, I took Dustin Johnson. He's kind of like a robot to me. He's not going to bogey a lot of holes, but you know what? He might not birdie a lot of holes. He's probably just he's not going to make any mistakes, right? And you have to take risks here at this course in Augusta, and you're going to have to, save a lot of pars, right? You're going to have to, listen, this is an unbelievably tough course, right? And you need a good scrambler in these types of events where you hit a bad shot off the tee. Who's going to be able to regroup? Who's going to be able to save themselves? You see Phil do it all the time. Tommy Fleetwood, those guys, right? Dustin Johnson, like I said, he's just more of a robot. Unbelievable golfer. I mean, he kills it off the tee. 300-plus yards, right? But does he have the ability to scramble? Does he have the ability to escape and save par? Those are the type of plays that are going to separate yourself. And you see Brooks Koepka is one of those guys. John Rahm. John Rahm is unbelievable. This is a really good time for golf. And I know we're making this transition now because, look, you got to expect that golf is going to move forward without Tiger. And it has. And it's just a bonus at this point. People are going to watch the Masters regardless. But when Tiger does well, the ratings significantly, obviously rise. But this is a game where there are a lot of talented young golfers that are ready to take the stage. And there's this competition that you've got to appreciate. My biggest complaint with the NBA is there's no parity. Me, you, your goldfish know that the Warriors, they're going to win the title, okay? In the East, it's more of like a toss-up, I would say. I think you got a couple teams. The Bucks, you got the Celtics, you've got the Sixers, you got the Raptors. Those are the four that, that's up for grabs. But that's what's the beauty of sports. Like the NFL, I mean, I don't know. Regardless of the Patriots, people are going to watch. But even the NHL, I mean, you see with Tampa Bay, the Lightning won 60-plus games, 100-plus points, breaking records. They are down 0-2 to the Columbus Blue Jackets in the first round. I mean, that is unreal. And this is what we look for as sports fans, parity. And golf has delivered that. Even with Tiger, when he went through his unbelievable spout, it's transitioned now to newer guys that are playing well. Rory, Spieth, Rahm. I mean, it's competition, and it's good. It's really good for golf, and it's good for the fans. Once again, I preface this: Tiger's in it by Sunday. It's a whole different ballgame. Whole different ballgame. And I have money on Dustin Johnson. I was going over this with my dad today. I said, he goes, so what happens? Because he knows I'm a big Tiger guy. If Tiger and Dustin Johnson 1-2, who are you cheering for? And I said Tiger. Forget the money. I want to see Tiger win. He's been through a ton, and I know people are going to say, oh, he's fine. He's made the endurance. I know he's rich, okay? I know, money is great, right? I bet you Tiger would pay a lot of money to win this Masters. And I would give up that bet. And I got Dustin Johnson at 10-1, okay? That's a nice payout if he wins. but I would want to see Tiger Woods win his 15th major. No Eagle. He is up next, and we will talk to you about the NBA playoffs, the preview, all that good stuff. He's got some great insights, so we'll bring him in just a sec. We are joined by Noah Eagle, my guy, host of the student section on Sirius XM 84. You can listen to that Monday night, 7 to 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, because we're here. Obviously, he's in New York. I'm in New Jersey. Noah, how are you today? Thank you so much for giving me the time.
Stephen, always great to be on. Always a pleasure. I feel like I'm always pampered on this show, so I enjoy coming. Thanks as always for having me.
My guy. All right, let's get into it. NBA playoffs. This is your wheelhouse here. We're going to go series to series. Obviously, everything's settled up here. We have some the matchups for, I think it starts on Saturday, first game. So we'll talk about that. But before, I wanted to get your thoughts on the legends of Dirk Nowitzki, Dwayne Wade. Talk about both of their careers, Dirk paving the way for these European players, all that good stuff. Let me hear your thoughts on these two legends retiring and hanging up the jerseys.
Yeah, it's really funny how once a player finally retires, and Dirk, I thought it was hilarious that everyone just assumed he was going to retire before he actually said it. And then he finally did say it, and everyone was like, oh, all right, wow, we need to get some tributes together real fast. And but it's funny how when a player retires, you look back and you realize that you almost overlooked some of the great things that they did. Like Dwayne Wade is the all-time leader in blocks for a player 6'4" or under by 100 blocks, and he has 300 in third place, like 300 over the third place, which is Jason Kidd, and they're the same height, play different positions. Like he revolutionized what it meant to be a shorter shooting guard. So then he paved the way for guys like Donovan Mitchell, who was about 6'3", maybe, is doing his thing because he saw, look, I mean, Dwayne Wade could do it as a slasher. I can get the same thing done and improve my shooting. And Dirk, like you said, paved the way for the modern age of basketball. I mean, look at what Brook Lopez has done in Milwaukee, and it all started a couple of years ago under Kenny Atkinson in Brooklyn. He said, look, Brook, the league is changing. Look what Dirk has done as a 7-footer. He's taking it outside, and he's become much more difficult to guard. And, by the way, look how long his career has been. It's 19 years for a reason. It's because it's not a wear and tear. It's because he can do that. He can finesse his way through it. And Brook looked at that and goes, whoa, I have a different role now in the modern NBA, and he fits that mold perfectly for the Milwaukee Bucks. So they revolutionized what it meant to play the position at the size that they are, and I think that's the coolest thing about their career.
Quickly, better career. I posted a Twitter poll yesterday, D-Wade or Dirk. I don't know who you voted for, but if you had to.
I voted for D-Wade.
D-Wade, okay.
It's incredibly close. I think it's incredibly close because, again, they're different. They're completely different in how they played, and they meant a little bit of a different thing to the league when they were playing. But look, D-Wade has 3 titles. He was first-team All-NBA a couple of times, and what he did at his position was more polarizing for the league at the time than what Dirk did, in my eyes. So I think he has a slight advantage, but it's really close. But to me, D-Wade's a 3 shooting guard of all time. I don't think I can say that about Dirk as a power forward. I think it's close. I think he's a top 5, but I don't know top 3. You have to go Tim Duncan. You have to go Karl Malone. You have to look at some of those other big men, and D-Wade, to me, just has a slight edge.
And the most underrated thing about this, just take basketball aside, I mean, there's just one of those – you have certain guys in sports where it's like they're impossible to hate. You know, you have your Derek Jeters. You have those guys. I mean, never in trouble, never cause any ruckus, you know, stick with the same team. I don't even count, you know, Dwayne Wade going to Chicago because that was for like a hot minute. But these are guys – the league needs more of these guys, okay, not only on the court but off the court. So –
for sure. I mean, like I think it was all epitomized by that Budweiser spot for D-Wade. If you haven't seen it, anybody at home who hasn't seen it, check it out. I mean, it showed everything he did off the court, and the way that Dirk was received after his final home game. It just showed what kind of character they had off the court, and that's so important for a league that prides itself in that type of thing.
All right, let's start in the Eastern Conference. 1 versus the 8, Milwaukee versus Detroit. Detroit, who my buddy's a big Piston fan. He's from Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
And he's talking to me during this Memphis game. He goes, oh, my God, We're down 22 in Memphis. They were